Today marks the start of Canadian Fertility Awareness Week, and you might be surprised to know that 1 in 6 Canadians are struggling to bring home a baby.
And our next guest is one of them. And while she continues her own journey, she also runs Day One Fertility, which is a Canadian resource for those struggling to conceive. So please welcome to the show, Emily Getz. Welcome.
So, Emily, you've had really quite the journey trying to grow your family. You've basically been through it all and you're sharing it all online. So can you fill us in a little bit on your story?
Yeah, so, we are one of the lucky ones. We do have a 5.5-year-old son at home. We gave birth to him in 2017, and it was really easy for us. Fertility and this whole conversation I was one of those people, very naive, wasn't on my radar. And 2 years later, shortly after, we kind of got bombarded with the hardest struggle of our lives. At 6 months pregnant, my second pregnancy, we ended up losing our daughter. And it's been a 3.5-year journey since then. And I think for a lot of people that are going through this, you're blindsided. No matter which point you're coming into this journey, it's a complete shock. And in 3.5 years, we've had an ectopic pregnancy where I've lost my right fallopian tube. I'm in the midst of our 4th round of IVF. We've had failed transfers and miscarriages and a loss. And a 1.5 years ago, we even got pregnant spontaneously. And if you've been in this journey, when you get pregnant, a surprise pregnancy, it's like you just feel you've gotten this golden ticket. And we ended up losing the heartbeat at 8 weeks and going through a DNC. And so it has been a true life-changing experience, and that I'm still on today, right now.
Well, as Cynthia said off the top, hearing your story and also hearing 1 in 6 couples, sometimes I think that number's got to be higher. I'm one of those. My husband and I struggled for 3 years to conceive our daughter. You were brave to keep going, because after the first one, we were like, okay, that's done. We're done. I didn't have the courage and the mental and physical strength to continue on, and you did. The impact on your life, this sounds like it is all-encompassing. So what impact has this had on your life, your partner's life?
Yeah, I like to say that this is not just a health issue. It is a mental health issue. People that are going through this, yes, we are driven to get a living child earthside, but our day-to-day is completely transformed in the sense of you're redefining your dreams, you're redefining the way in which you thought you were going to grow your family. And I find that to be one of the most unspoken parts of all of this, of how much of us goes into it. I mean, we like to say that we're gonna give 100% of ourselves to our partner and our work, and for some of us, our children, but 90% of the time, we are thinking about what's going on in our fertility. And so it is extremely difficult to be managing this and also still trying to live your life, which is why I wanted to start Day One, is to just really be teaching people how to integrate this and not have it take over.
Many people that I know who've been on this journey never had a success. So I know there might be some people at home who are watching this and feel like you have had some success. You had this beautiful son. What do you say to people who, I'm sure people have no decorum when it comes to this topic. So what do you say to the people who say that to you?
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm extremely grateful. I think this journey for me, my gratitude has blown up. I didn't understand it, but I would say to those people, I get it. I validate that feeling of, that unfair narrative that goes on in our mind. And at the same time, we all come into this journey from a different vantage point. We're all coming in, it's extremely personal. Only you and your family can make these decisions to continue to grow or to continue to stop. It's extremely personal. And for us, we've entered this from a very traumatic standpoint. It's been, tremendous loss that's come with it. And it's our decision to keep moving. And I can also completely understand that it's difficult. It's a very isolating, complex, layered experience, no matter why and where and how you're entering this road.
So, you're living in this world, in work, so to speak, in real life, with your family. So what can someone who's watching do to support, somebody who's struggling to bring home a baby?
Thank you for asking. Yeah, I think that the biggest piece is just because you're not going through it firsthand doesn't mean that you can't be a support. I think people don't know what to do, and sometimes that means they're not doing anything at all. And I kind of say to these people, like, it doesn't have to be so deep. You know, you don't have to be asking all the questions. Consistency is key. So a check-in is amazing if you're doing it weekly. And just to take the choice away, we're making so many decisions in this journey. When you ask someone, what do you need? I mean, basically people say, I'm good, you know, I'm good. And so if you can just say, I'm checking in, there's no need to respond, just know that I'm walking this beside you, I think goes a long way versus keeping silent.
The good news is that we are starting to see some changes in the fertility industry that are making things a little bit easier. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, I mean, this week is such a good example of this because usually it's Infertility Awareness Week. And this is the first year ever that the community is changing that word because fertility is more than just women with ovaries. There's a huge diverse community that is going through this that aren't infertile. It's just they have to go through the fertility journey to grow their family. And so we are seeing changes even from a word and the way in which we're speaking about it. And we're seeing well-known people start to actually speak, you know, the Chrissy Teigens of the world and Astrid Locke and, you know, Whitney Port. They're starting to actually show the realities behind it and normalizing this conversation for everyone. And so more to come, but I think we're really seeing a phenomenal change in culture.
And you're part of that change as well. Emily, thank you so much for sharing your story.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, timely conversation. We're going to take a very quick break. We'll be back right after this.
Thanks for watching. We've got lots more discussion and debates on everything from food and fashion to pop culture and current events. Don't forget to click like and subscribe.